So after combining 3D point clouds to create one mesh, I imported the mesh into Meshlab in order to generate a surface mesh from it. So here we have the mesh point data from the Canon. It's still pretty sloppy. You can see the ground. I wanted to see how it would render with the grass in the image, but you can see we still have the Canon is right here on top of the grass. It's a little tilted right now actually, but you can see it's right here, and we're going to explore how it renders as a surface mesh. But you can see over here there's some excess noise, so we're going to get rid of that and process our data. So I found for a little while I was using the beta version of Meshlab, and that was causing some problems. But you can see here we're in the Meshlab version we should be using, and we can do a lot of the features that we can do in the beta version. For example, under filters, we can compute normals for point sets and change the values from here and to generate a surface mesh that more accurately represents our object. So we're going to do that and see where we get. So when applying filters to the mesh, the first thing we did was go to compute normals for point sets, and we're looking at this. So originally we're going to change it to something like 1740. I'm going to get the trackball center, and then this flip normals with respect to viewpoint was also a helpful option, and then we hit apply, and this is going to change the mesh. So it's already been done once, so it won't be quite as drastic a change from what we're seeing here, but this was the first step because we're trying to get the data points in to more of a planar data set so that we can create a surface mesh from there. So here's the Canon up here, and it's becoming not just data points, but a 3D mesh over here. So that's what we're looking to get. So we have the Meshlab software on the right and the instructions on the left. So I ran into a bit of a snag when following them. So we are looking under the remeshing, simplification, and reconstruction tab for the Poisson surface reconstruction, but the only surface reconstruction options I have are ball pivoting and VCG. So we are working with what we have, and we start with the ball pivoting one to try to get an approximation for surface reconstruction. So even though we're not using Poisson, it's a different approximation, turning the points into a surface mesh. So we tried that out for a little while and got something that was more solid than what we had gotten before with just the normal layers. So after spending quite a bit of time with trial and error, looking at the different filter options and identifying not just the ball pivoting surface reconstruction, but also the VGC surface reconstruction, we ended up with some data that really does not resemble the Canon that the data models. So there's definitely a lot to learn from this experience with in terms of what kind of point cloud is needed to accurately get a good surface mesh, and how adjusting the settings changes the outcome of your surface mesh, and how it sometimes renders in ways that you don't understand, but that there's a lot of editing power with removing unwanted parts of the mesh that you don't want so much. So this is what we have for the current setup, but moving forward, there's a lot of room to really improve the data processing side of the project, and that's really exciting stuff.